do your best to support them. And those people, once they're successful and once they're able to give back to the community, it's going to give them the power and the necessity, if I may say, to bring back to
As Vegas the Explorer is not for perfect people, because we believe like as long as we have the freedom of choice, we will never be perfect, because other people will make their own decisions, their own choices. So it's not for perfect people because they don't exist. Again, it's not for people who say I have arrived, it's not for people who say I have arrived, because every day is a new beginning. So it's actually for people who look back and
wangena ulisa, wangena umfene, wangena usuthu jambasi, madoda makwethu ndiyanibulisa. Igama lami ndingisive bahle, ndingomnye wabantu abayingxenye yakule company. Namhlanje sihleli nensizwa coming all the way from KZN in Newcastle. Man, we welcome you on as Vegas the Explorer.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Greetings to you and greetings to everybody watching anywhere in the world or in Africa. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, igama lakhe nguManqoba MNCWANGO. He was born in Madende. Am I pronouncing that correct?
It's okay. It's totally understandable. Well, I'm Manqoba. I'm a juvenile from Newcastle, KZN. I'm Manqoba MNCWANGO, to be exact, from Newcastle in Matateni. So basically, if I can tell you more about myself, I'm basically an innovative guy with an idea of how self-charging electric vehicles can be made, of which I've already registered a company for. The company is called Mikalzo, and that brings me to my next endeavor, of which is part of being an entrepreneur. So I also have another company called the South African Airlines Foundation. So that company I founded, and it is co-founded by Miss Philantrophist. And in that company, we deal with promoting local businesses, in an act of trying to, elevate them. And also, so I feel like I should mention also my education. I went to an aviation school in Bloemfontein, but then in the end, by education, I'm not very far, but then, well, like in this today's world, you can be anything you wanna be, as long as you look out for the information that matters. So that is what I believe in. Also a Pan African, and an Africanist, if I may be like most, straight to the point.
Great introduction, my guy. Very great introduction and interesting life indeed. So let us start back in your life, just before we take it to the conclusion, or maybe to your current state of life. Let us take it back to your life and see where Manqoba is coming from. Tell us about your upbringing. How was it growing up in the streets of South Africa for you?
I would say, it was bad and also good. It depended on the situation that I was facing. But let me start with the problems that I faced, as a young person in South Africa. So basically, the finance, I think it is like the obstacle, the biggest obstacle in the community. So that limits opportunity, the growth opportunity. So I would say that was the bad part about it. But then, in the end, we have to look into the good parts about South Africa to understand why I would say I also enjoyed in a way. When we look at this country, it is a country that has the energy of growth, the potential of growth. So living in such a country, you learn to make big dreams and wish to accomplish them. So that was good for me, because it gave me there's something to live for a better South Africa, and that is what I'm trying to achieve lately. And it's been part of the things that I was trying to achieve from my young ages.
Today we are talking with this young man, Manqoba. He was born in KZN, and like I have mentioned, that today we are talking about small business development, and we are talking about the importance of actual CSR. Man, you are so young for you to be giving back to the community. Just before we get on that point, you know, when we grow up, because this is as Vaeka Sea Explorer, so you know, people that we call upon this platform, most of them are from township. You know, when you grow up in township, there are those challenges that you face as a teenager, as a young person. What was the most difficult challenge that you've ever faced as a young person?
Well, I would say the lack of opportunity was a very big challenge. I mean, like I'm from those public schools and locations, you know. So unlike during my times in school, it was very much difficult for one to endeavor into, you know, some opportunities that would lead them to, you know, whatever it is that they wanted in life. So by that I mean that, like in local schools, we did not have things like Science Expo at that time in locations. So had I been in a school that had such opportunities, maybe I would have like gone a little bit further by life right now. But then, like, I'm just a person that believes that I'm right where I need to be, like, in life, you know, right now at this time. So I would say that, like, lack of opportunity was really a big stumbling block for me. But then, even so, I'm still trying to ensure that I get to my dreams. So it's something that I learned from. So it's no longer a challenge, but it was a very good lesson.
That's faith there. That's faith there. That's faith speaking there. So, you know, one of the things that I struggled with, especially in school, at the elementary level, it was the question of confidence, or maybe the problem of confidence. Growing up, I lacked confidence big time. And you know, when you lack confidence, is like when you lack money. It's easy for people to control you. It's easy for people to control you. So I was in a state where I lacked confidence. What are the things that you really struggled with at school that were so personal to you?
Well, I would say also it's low self-esteem. Well, I suffered a lot from that, so that is something that I really had to learn from. I mean, I would say that I was always at kind of a different guy, you know. So in such a way, I had to, in most time, live a lonely life around people. So there's just a lot of things that I had to learn to overcome, and that means that also includes what we call the low self-esteem case, of which I would say that I blame that on my previous failures, if I may say. So they made me feel like, you know, I was not worth enough. But now I'm working towards that and ensure that, like, I get to whatever it is that I want. And every time I achieve a certain something, I learn to love myself more. And so that is what I experienced in my younger years. But yeah, now I'm working on that.
Yeah, I really get it. You know, you are still watching us Vaeka Sea Explorer. This is where we go around townships. We look for prominent people, leaders that are not nationally or internationally recognized, while they can still change lives out there. Today we are sitting with MANQOBA, and we are talking about the small business development and the importance of the actual CSR. Man, let's take it now to business. When did you start realizing that you have this ability to be an entrepreneur? Some say entrepreneurs are born, some say entrepreneurs are made. What's your take on it? First, let us start with your take. Do you believe that entrepreneurs are made or born? And when did you start to realize your state of being an entrepreneur?
Well, I would say that entrepreneurs are born, you know, but they're also made. But most of them, they're born. You know, you get to hear some people's story of how they actually made it without some qualifications, without any training, any entrepreneurial training. You know, we find a lot of people in our local community having such an ability, running businesses without being trained for it, of which is why I believe that you can be born an entrepreneur. Like my proof is obviously those people who make it without education or any training again. So that's what I say. They are born, like entrepreneurs are born.
Yeah. And when did you start realizing that you are one of those entrepreneurs?
Okay. So okay, let's start with what entrepreneurship is about to answer that. So I can say like entrepreneurship is mostly about how to run a business, and a business is only created when there is a problem that people are trying to solve.
Right.
So when you become that, yes, when you become that somebody that sees a problem and realizes how this problem can be fixed, and then you can just start working on it. So as for me, it is when I realized that we in this world we need electric vehicles, and I looked and say, we do have some companies that are making those cars, and I was like, what problems are they facing? If I can try to solve that problem, maybe I can have business. I believe that I will have business once I can show that I really can solve this problem. So I started working on drawings, like designing on how the car would actually be like. And I was like, when I reached some breakthroughs in my journey, I realized that I can solve problems. So maybe let me try to make profits, so I can use this profits to return the services that my community needs. So that's when I started to feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I just wanted to ensure that I solve a problem and also I make profits from that. So that is currently what I endeavor, or what is my current endeavor. I'm trying to now ensure that like I get the profit, and so I can give back to the community, of which we're still going to get into deeply when we discuss about the issue of CSR.
Yes. And what's fascinating is the fact that you're saying you're trying to solve problems. It means that those problems, after they have been solved, they will become opportunities to other people, which is to say people who don't have opportunities, like you didn't have opportunities, you are actually making a way for them to have opportunities. I find that I find that fascinating a lot. If you have questions, guys, you can pose your questions. MANQOBA will answer your questions. So let's take it now to you being a person who put Africa, or who prefer Africa, or let me say an Africanist, like you say, Pan Africanist. Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Because I'll tell you that we admire and we love the life in United States, like overseas, the likes of New York and like such places. But we don't have enough confidence to love Africa the way it is. But it's such an amazing thing for you as a young man to admire and to love Africa. What makes you love Africa?
Okay, so basically my answer evolved in something that is quite clear for a lot of people, of which is the interest that a lot of Western companies have in Africa. So like a lot of people have like during the 1994s and so on, a lot of people began to move to South Africa, and quite a few years before, a lot of people also moved to Africa in general, and they're still moving to Africa. This tells us one thing, that Africa is great, and like if we can learn to believe that it is a source of power for the Western world, and then we can therefore begin to love our Africa, and we can work on making it a better country. So for that, I usually say that a lot of people must ensure that one of their goals is to maybe visit Egypt, to maybe visit Tanzania, to maybe visit Nigeria, instead of wanting to go to the West. So whatever money that you aim to spend in such the country that you're going to be visiting, you're going to be spending it in an African country. So that is going to develop Africa, and it's going to transform it from the image that is usually shown in currently, of the Africa when there's flies and people and those starving people. If we begin to showing Africa, to showing the better side of Africa, and then everybody can love Africa. And that is what I had to apply first in myself, because what they say, you have to be the change that you hope to see. So that's basically what makes me love Africa, and that is what I suggest people look into. Why do Western people have an interest in doing business in Africa? That's because we have something here, and that is something that we have to begin doing something about.
Now let's get straight to the subject of the day. Let's talk about business. Entrepreneurship is now a fashionable thing in South Africa. I really don't know in countries around South Africa, but why do you think we have a situation where people now prefer to be entrepreneurs instead of employees or maybe job seekers?
Oh, okay. For that, I can say that I think people are starting to realize that there are not really there's not really a high number of jobs in South Africa. So a lot of people are now seeing that, and now they are going to entrepreneurship, and that is such a good response, because it's going to create jobs. So sometimes when a bad thing happens, it lets people evolve to counter its effects. So what is growing entrepreneurship in South Africa, I would say that the issue of employment is requiring people to wake up and do this something with life. So yes, that is what I believe is driving this strong rise in entrepreneurship in South Africa.
I there's a problem with your screen, or I think you're back now. There was just a problem with it, but I think you're back. When you work with these business, because as you explained in the beginning of our interview, that you are working with businesses, trying to create relationship amongst small businesses. What is it that small businesses faced a lot as part of challenges?
Well, I would say the sole intent of going the individual way is what killed a lot of businesses, and it what continues to kill a lot of businesses. So by that, we can look into the tuck shop industry, or maybe the tuck shop community. You're going to find that a lot of let me say African let me just say South African tuck shop owners, they usually have this problem of not wanting to better the each other. They don't want to beg each other. So when we look into that, we're going to see why they don't unite and combat everything. So that is what kills a lot of businesses in South Africa, the lack of unity. So if we can begin, if we can what the South African Elites Foundation noted basically is the need of unity and trading together. So what we're trying to do is, let's say you're selling potatoes, and then we know somebody else who is selling quotas. Then let those people trade together, and that is going to ensure that we become each other's financial supporters. So if somebody else is selling chickens, then and let us introduce that person to the rest of the people who are maybe roasting chickens and selling to the public. Let there be that kind of a trading relationship. So that is what the South African Elites Foundation means when it says that it is initiating trading relationships. That is what we're trying to work on, acquiring those connections, and we hope that sooner or later people are going to flood in and join in with us in our attempts to create employment and a better financial world.
And I want to understand again, how will trading together put us at the pinnacle of development, because there are a lot of problems in business. We have problems in terms of the cash flow. We have problems in terms of maybe the marketing. We have problems in terms of the operation in general. So how will trading together help us without any distraction? Because when you're working with small business, let me say your supplier is a small business. One of the things that people would say is it is very difficult to rely on a supplier or on a small supplier. Let me say that, on a small supplier, it is hard to rely on those people because sometimes they run out of stock. And remember, if you are trading together, like you are articulating, it means that if maybe I'm selling fries, I'm selling fries and you are supplying potatoes. I'll have to come to you. But what happens when you run out of stock? Because these are familiar problems that our small businesses incur. Businesses, it's easy to start, but it's really difficult as time goes on to maintain inventory, to maintain stock keeping and all that.
Okay, so let me start by saying that, when you run out of stock, like quite frequently, that means that you need to grow, you need to begin stocking more, and that means that you now have the ability to always serve your customers, be it other businesses and individual people. That means that you should then grow. Once you reach the stage of Uguti, you are now like generating a steady flow of sales, So that means that you have to, begin stocking further. So by stocking further, before we even begin discussing how stocking further is going to help, let us see into this matter. So when, let us say, local small businesses are supplying one another. So like this person wants chickens, obviously they have the money to buy the chickens. So let this person slaughter the chickens and supply those chickens. What will it require to slaughter those chickens? A lot of workers. And in so doing, we will be beginning to have a lower number of employees. So the way that we're going to solve the stock problem, if you simply don't have there's something that I am looking for, if you don't have the eggs that I'm looking for, then we should look into a system which is going to always ensure that one mentions another local business and say, hey my brother, I don't have such now, but can you go to Mr. Batle's store? And then this is going to ensure that everybody has business and we are busy marketing each other, and we're going to generate the money that we need to cover all those problems that you stated. Of which, just to answer your question, in short, when businesses reach the stage where they feel like that their stock is now running short, quite frequently being the stock is being lost quite frequently, or maybe it's being sold quite frequently, they have to mention to refer other businesses and let them know about the trading opportunity. So it's that's it.
I get that. How's the progress in you executing this idea? How's the progress of it? Are they are businesses coming into board with it?
Well, we do have a couple of companies that we're working with. But then just like any other South African business, we are also having some problems with the finance, of which that's what a lot of people face locally, and that's something that we are going to have to learn to solve as time goes on. So we're currently having financial problems, but there are businesses that we are working with, So we currently, just to mention a few, we have the Destination and Fleeceware. Those are the companies that are really great when it comes to the clothing industry. They are really promising. And then we also have NHB Cosmetics, of which that's also another company that deals with the manufacture of makeups and stuff like that. So some businesses are coming in, but then like we still need to work more on acquiring a lot more businesses to work in convincing them to work more with us, and that is what we're going to get to like in a short while. That is what I believe we're going to achieve.
Yeah, man. I get it. I think starting is the most important part of of going forward with business. You know, when we start business, it's a norm. It's a norm. When we start businesses in township, our businesses stay long while they are long time in small size. They stay as long as small businesses for a long time, and you don't see any development. These are the things, of course, we see in Free State. How's business in KZN? Do we have businesses that are developing like in leaps and bounds in KZN?
Well, I would say that some businesses are developing. Like we have a like, let me just make an example of a quite a familiar line of business, of which is selling goods. A lot of businesses are starting to be innovative in what they offer. So I would say that business in KZN is growing. People are starting to be innovative. They're starting to employ new ideas of how they can ensure that they succeed, of which is currently a good thing in KZN, according to what I see around me.
You are still watching us via Kasi Explorer. If you have a question, you can drop your question. MANQOBA, of course, will answer your question. I'm sitting with MANQOBA today. We are discussing more about business. He's all the way from KZN. Guys, remember what is As via Kasi Explorer? As via Kasi Explorer is a platform where we call leaders from different parts of the world. We say, please guys, show up and come and discuss certain subjects with us so that we can teach other people. We can learn from other people. So these are leaders, these are entrepreneurs, these are philanthropists who can really change lives, even though they are not nationally or internationally recognized. If you want to see more of our videos, follow our, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is As via Kasi Explorer, and follow us on Instagram, which is As via _brand. Let's now talk about you giving, you starting by giving back to the community, because when you start a business, many people start to say, because now I'm starting a business, I'm actually looking at for my bank account, I'm actually looking at my profits, I'm looking for such things. But when you start right away, you start helping business, creating a relationship. Why are you considering that?
Okay,
because just to elaborate it further, many startups would say, okay, let me start and then accumulate enough profit and therefore come back to the community and then help. Why you start right away helping people?
Okay, so basically it is, as I explained later, that like whenever one starts a business, it is because they see a problem that has to be solved. So there is a problem that I saw, that I actually thought it should be solved. Why like a lot of businesses are suffering. I looked into that and I saw that, maybe if we can try and promote businesses and try to ensure that like businesses are known out there and they work together. And then I saw that like, this is something that I can, do for the community, and also be able to, raise funds to also tackle a lot of other issues that we are facing as the local society. So that is like what drove me to, start wanting to help communities. And I'm really preaching that a lot of people join in on this, because I cannot do it alone. But if we can begin to work together as Africans and combat the atrocities that we face as a local society, we can do a greater impact. So basically that is what motivated me into wanting to help people right away. Like, let me try to do that's something that people need to actually succeed, which is promotion, which is a sure a financial nexus, if I may say.
Right. With your strategy is brilliant, man. And I think even though your business mechanics can be deep and complex, I feel like your strategy is it will be very beneficial to small businesses around your community. But I want to ask this question: with that strategy, are you cognizant that people will need more businesses around where you are situated and around our communities? Let's say we take the same strategy, or maybe it happens that you cross to Free State. We're gonna need many businesses because other businesses sell final products, but other businesses sell items that need to be concocted just before they go, or maybe they start to be sold out. So one of the biggest problems that we have is people fearing to start businesses, or people having a problem to start businesses because of capital. How do you encourage that one start businesses so that your strategies can absolutely work efficiently and effective?
Okay, so basically what we can do there for people who don't have capital, there's a way that people can try and use to raise funds for their businesses, of which it's part of the way I also used to arrive, work up until I'm here. So you can basically start by selling your skills, sell your skills and ensure that you make money from what you got in. So let us say you got in making beats, sell those beats, and then you're going to have money to start by buying yourself a better system, and then you're going to move on to being a producer. So sell your skills, start by selling your skills, and then you're going to find that you solve, in most cases, you solve the issue of capital and having no money to work with. That is something that I'm also beginning to learn, that if you ensure that you use your skills and you show them to the people and you offer them to let's say those established business that are already running, you sell your skills to them, you're going to find yourself raising the capital that you need, and then that is going to be the motivation that you need to progress further with your business.
I like that, man. I like that because most of my businesses started like that. I remember this other time I was requested to MC this event. So now it was just something that I did because I was willing to do it, and there was a gap in that space. So I did my thing. I went on stage, and then I did my thing. I mastered the ceremony, and after that I discovered that there's actually a business out of this, and I started making prices for it and making profile for this particular business. And today I think I have a business. When people need an MC, they can actually call up and say, "Bashle, man, we need an MC." So I like that idea. And I really wish that what you are saying can reach many people, because, man, every time when we meet different people, even when we start our company, which is as by a private company, one of the things that we preached was the starting without capital. There's a way starting without capital, because people think capital is in only monetary form.
Mm.
Only to find out that it can be a skill that you contribute, can serve as capital and be accounted towards the equity. So I really like that. I really like that idea. Do you see yourself working with people in different provinces, or right now you still see your hall long enough to work with people in KZN only?
No, like I'm extremely national. I mean, like we're living in a like a very good century, or a very good time now, where we can discuss business like right as you are in the Free State. I mean, KZN, we are talking everything, you know. So I'm trying to say that like today geographic boundaries do not apply anymore. You know, we can just conduct business wherever. So, which brings me to my answer that like I'm willing to work with anybody from any province, from any country, from just like any town, anywhere. We can all work together and ensure that like we succeed in what we all want for, or what we all long for, which it is the elevation of our beautiful country.
I get it. So when we discuss business in most spaces, we discuss business in a form whereby we only sell. We only sell as retailers. Let me put it like that. We only sell as retailers, but we never wish, like most of us never wish to be at the production point where we produce something for South Africans, we produce something for for Africa as a continent. I say this because I was looking at the story of Aliko Dangote, the guy who started selling cement. He started selling sugar, and then he improved his business to start selling cement, and then he built conglomerate out of those small sales. So he manufactured, or maybe he was producing the cement that we use today in South Africa and in other different countries. So I want to know, how can we get to that point whereby we take the value out of South Africa? We have the value out of South Africa, because now the situation is, when you want beautiful things, you have to import. How can we start making a home production?
Okay.
A small business. Can we consider it?
Pardon? Yes, I can answer that. All right. So what I can say is like I explained that a lot of things that bring about the existence of any business is if there is a problem, and that problem has to be solved. So we can begin by showing that we need people to solve this problem, by recognizing the people that are manufacturing, and encourage the growth of the manufacture of a lot of different types of items. So to be exact to my point, like this goes back to what I was saying, that we form this financial network. So let us say like you were just buying chickens, and then I did not have any layers, I just only have broilers. But then you now tell me that you want to also add eggs in your shop. So now that's the problem that I have to learn to solve. So by then I'm going to start by buying a lot of layers, and then I'm going to be solving the problem that is needed, of which the raw material can now be supplied. So that is what a lot of people have to look into what the businesses need the most, and if we can crack that, we can begin supplying that which businesses need. Like for instance, a lot of people are endeavoring into the making of perfumes in South Africa. So if we can yes. So we have to begin by looking at what do they need to actually produce better perfumes, to actually produce better good perfumes, like the ones that can crack the market. So then we supply that, and that is just basically what also manufacturing goes like. We have to find what businesses need the most, and we have to be very innovative in designing a lot of things that businesses need. And once we the people see the need for the manufacture of anything that is at hand, and then we will begin moving forward. So it all goes on when we start noticing the things that businesses need. We can get to an international scale by ensuring that we manufacture the things that businesses need, you know.
Some of the problems that we face as small businesses in South Africa is the fact that funding it takes time to actually get in our hands. And some institutions like banks, they really have difficult, or maybe let me say hard restrictions when it comes to funding. You know, you don't get funded if maybe you want to start your business, because I don't know, but it seems like they don't believe in us starting a business. But when you take a loan for something else, maybe the loan can be granted. How like a person, like a Pan Africanist, what is wrong, man? What is wrong with the institutions that we have in South Africa?
Well, I think we have to be quite specific to the matter that a lot of leaders that we choose are contributing to the pushback of citizens. They're contributing to the pushback of development. So that is why they're not even addressing the issues that are facing a lot of people, such as how ideas get lost in the NYDA, how it's hard to get funding, as you're saying. That is why they're not focusing much on that. So it is up to us to become the change that we want to see. So this begins by, again, trading together. When we trade together, we're going to ensure that we now have a financial backing, and then we can begin investing our money collectively and ensuring that when a business is in need of funds to start, and then they can come present the idea to the community or whatever body that we would have established. They come and present their idea, and like this, we can like try and ensure that we only allow visionative people to be the people that decide on what gets funded and what doesn't. You know, people who believe in change, people who want to see the public grow. So if we then begin trading together, we're going to start by saving, and that starts by those current businesses that are already running. If they can begin saving together, because okay, let me finish this. If they begin trading together, then save the money and say that they are solving the problems that their societies are facing, then the issue of business funding will be one of the problems that they can solve. And they can solve that by giving you money. Let's say you have an idea, they give you money, and then they give you the resources to actually make it to the top. That is one thing that we can use to overcome the issue of the lack of funds, of which is quite a big problem in South Africa and in Africa in general.
Man, I like your idea. I really love your idea, and I feel like you have to focus more on building the proper foundation for this idea that you have. What's nice about it is that it's already under execution. You know.
Yes.
And the problems, amongst the problems that we have, the other problem that we have as small business owners is to take time, to delay to execute the ideas that we have in relation to development of our businesses. So I really like the fact that you have already executed. You are under the construction of this one-day dream that you are talking about.
Yes.
Okay, we're just gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back again at 10 past 4. We're gonna come back again at 10 past 4. So just before we take a break, I want you to explain the profile of your business, so that people can go and see and reach it, and learn around it, and buy if they have to buy, or join if they have to join. I think you mentioned one business, the one that you just registered. I don't think there are yet execution around it. Or you haven't done anything around it? It's just the registration, right?
Which one? The Mikalzo, or
Yeah.
the one that builds electric cars? The ones who build electric cars.
The
That's the one.
Mikalzo.
Okay, yes, if you're talking about that one. So, well, on that, I was currently busy, like, maybe last year. Yes, it was last year. I was building smaller models of the car. So that is what I'm trying to finish now, just so I can raise some funding. So there's currently something that I'm doing towards that. I'm trying to ensure that I get the eye and the funding that I need to make sure that I build these vehicles, and we like create a lot of jobs and a safer environment for all.
So tell me here, have you saying you've built a car?
Yeah, it was a smaller model of what I wanted to really accomplish. So what I'm looking to achieve now is to raise the funds to build a bigger model that I'm going to show around, hopefully, like and get some investors, or maybe get some promising sales, if I may say. So, well, I've only worked on a smaller model of it, but yeah, as soon as I get the funds, we're going big.
That's nice, man. That's nice. The power of an entrepreneur is upon action. If you act what you think, we are really escalating. We are really escalating. And tell us about South African Airlines.
All right. So the South African Airlines Foundation, well, it is quite in execution. We're just trying to fix a few problems here and there. But then, like, we've already started. We are found on Facebook. You can like follow our page. It's just South African Elites Foundation. And also you can also connect us on WhatsApp if you need to know more. Well, it's 064 210 and then 3321. So, well, that is like what the South Africans are already doing. We're trying to fight on. We're already trying to fight on ensuring that our idea survives. So we are, like I stated earlier, that we're working with a few companies already, and quite a few musicians, because we're not only about elevating businesses, but also the local talent. So we've already started with that. We're trying to work with a lot of radios, online radios usually. Yeah, we've already started. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I like, man. And I believe that one day we will be at a point where we discuss more about our fate, even if we can be in different places. But as long as you stay true to who you are, do what you have to do, one day I believe that we will speak same words under one faith. So I really like the idea of that. The idea that you are a young person, man. When I was at your age, I really didn't. I was not brave enough to start a business. That's what I admire. That's what I admire about you, because when you starting a business is not an individual decision. You have to consult with your community, check what they need, check the price affordability, check with the space, with your parents, the business location and stuff like that. So I really like the fact that you started anyway, because I was scared to start when I was at your age. And we're gonna just take a quick break, man. I'm enjoying this conversation because I'm learning so much from you.
Oh, thank you so much for your interest. I'm already enjoying this time. I'm also doing so. I'm enjoying what we're talking about.
Well, entrepreneur is one of the things that are fashionable in nowadays. People believe that entrepreneur is the only way to go. While we still have other people who say jobs. But of course, we don't crucify anyone. You know that you can do a job and work on the entrepreneurship. But as Asvaeka Explorer, we will keep on bringing the best guests for you. Now let's go to our break, and we're gonna come back at 4:10. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Asvaeka Explorer. Go on our Instagram account, just follow us there, Asvai_brand. And just go again on Facebook, like and follow our Facebook page so that you can see more of this. Some of the videos are uploaded on YouTube, but for some are still under the process of being edited. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. NEWCASTLE Kukuti Asvaikas Explorer was just live. Thank you so much. Let's take a break, man.
Thank you.